Been Busy podcast is back, baby. It has been 2 weeks, and I was just realizing something. We need to start doing these weekly, but it is so hard. Obviously, been busy. We're busy, and there's a lot going on. But I realize now why people need sponsorships to do podcasts as like a full time job because they take a lot of time, and you got to find a lot to talk about. And we didn't realize it had been 2 weeks, but here we are. And I don't know, maybe one day we'll be sponsored and this will be like a full-time thing for us. But until then, we're just going to add this to our been busy schedule, I think. But just a random thought to kick this off. But how are you, Boo?
I'm good. I'm good. We have a lot to talk about today. I'm excited to chat. I feel like we could seriously just chat all day. The banter that goes around the house, but to put it all on the pod, is a whole nother level of fun. So
Yeah, we
I'm
probably just need
excited to connect with you
if
today.
we just had a camera that was recording all the time, we could probably just spit out
Seriously,
episodes every day, and there'd be some really funny and good content. But um, that would just we're not there yet, so maybe we'll get there one day.
we're not there yet. We'll be there.
Until then, we've got to schedule it, produce it, do all the editing, and do all the work that goes into the pod. And we're happy to do it, and so we're excited to
Yep.
make this podcast because let's kick things off with just what we kind of ended the last podcast talking about, and that was the Hyrox race that we did in
Yeah.
Atlanta last weekend, which is crazy. Um, why don't you give the highlights? Because it's something you had on our schedule. We did it. We knocked it out, and I don't know. I guess we kind of got us in the mood to maybe do another one.
Yeah. I first of all, first time I've traveled since being diagnosed with diabetes. So we were kind of like just trying to test the waters there, see how we would do. Got to go back to Atlanta, see a lot of our friends, and that was really nice too, and just like very like fill your cup up kind of feeling. So again, we love Atlanta. Always will be like a second home to us for sure. But we definitely, I mean, first of all, I think what was great is we went into this with like very low expectations, knowing that we hadn't really trained properly. And the second piece of it was like we wanted to see. I mean, I think we both kind of like to hurt a little bit. I hate to say it, we like a little suck, and I think we wanted to see like how painful it could be, but also could we do it? And I think that was like a cool part of it because we really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. Like the training we had done simulated some things, but some of the movements we hadn't even touched. So yeah, I think we'll start off with the atmosphere. They set up a really great atmosphere. If you've never done a High Rocks or if you watched a High Rocks, the atmosphere is insane. They do a great job. And Chris, he was like blown away by how organized it was. So if you want to do something, I think it's like a really cool, like there were thousands of people competing and in and out and going around, and it was just so organized and the flow of everything was so great. So shout out to High Rocks for running really great events. We've been to all kinds of different activities, different sporting events before, and we're like, I don't know if we've seen anything run that smoothly before. So really cool.
Yeah, that's personally, I have never done any sort of competition for the most part. I've done, some in-house gym competitions, but I've
Right.
never done anything like that. I've never done a half marathon. I've never done any sort of race, like a Spartan race or anything like that. So this was something way different.
Yep.
Although, I like to work out, like to run, challenge myself. It's not something that I've done. And I indeed was blown away by the organization of it all. To be
Yep.
in Atlanta, to see thousands of people, and the quickness of being able to get there, sign in, get warmed up. Next thing you know, they're amping us up in the tunnel to send us out as a heat, and then
Yeah.
next thing you know, we're in the thick of it, and an hour goes by, and then we're at the end and we're completing it, and it was tough. It was definitely a challenge. It was something I'm glad we did a little preparation for. We
Yeah.
worked out and we were strong enough to do the movements. The running definitely is where I think a lot of people have to do to train for. It's 5 miles of running in total, I think, and so that definitely after each movement was kind of one of those oh, here we go again moments. But then
Yeah, you get tired of the running like by around 5 or 6. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm still running. And it wasn't like you couldn't do it. It was just like we're still running. And because sometimes the movements are real short. And since we did doubles, we did like the men's weight, which was honestly a lot of fun and a good challenge for me. I will say I got wrecked in the sled pulls and sled pushes. I practiced. That was actually something I practiced, but it's way different when you're running and you're competing with people too. And you've got a guy next to you just sloshing that weight by you, and you're just barely inching it. But luckily, Chris pulled his weight, literally. I'm glad I married a football player because he could work the sled pretty well. But the sled crushed me. So that was the second and third like movements. I was like, if I can just get through these two, I think I'll be okay. And I actually felt way better after we got past those. I don't know about you, but those were my two like moments. And it's funny because we've talked to a lot of people and they're like, "Oh, I hated this." And I'm like, I could have done the burpee broad jumps all day. Like I think you kept saying, "Are you going to stop?" And I was like, "No, I'm good."
yeah, the sled pull and push. I definitely I got tagged in a little earlier than I thought, but it was okay because that was a strength of mine. So we once we got rolling,
Yeah,
I just kind of accepted the fact that I was going to kind of man those stations for us. But like you said, I burpees are just something I hate to do. It's not something fun. I don't enjoy it. I like pain of some things and pushing through. Burpees is not one of them. And so I was more than happy to watch you just hit the ground and pop up and just keep going. And I was like, yeah, you take that. Let me get my break here. So I think we had our movements that we both liked and disliked.
yeah, for sure.
Um, those would have been the ones that we both, either passed off or wanted more of. And then for
Yep,
the others, though, I mean, we were pretty evenly, like they weren't too bad. It was enough to
no,
be a challenge, but they weren't.
correct.
It was something everybody could do. If you've been working out and running, it's a good challenge to go do. Now, I don't recommend it if you've done nothing because it will crush you. I mean,
Yeah,
a few
for
days
sure.
afterwards, bodies were recovering a little bit.
Yep,
We had to be smart about that, but it's something that if you enjoy running, you enjoy working out, I think you could do a little training and prep for it. And I think just
for
a
sure.
good fitness challenge that if you need something to just test yourself with, I think it's
Yep.
something fun because you get to do it with other people and good production. So I would highly recommend it. When we were done, I said I'm never doing this again. I said I'm a one and done. I said that before we even did it, and then
Yep, he did.
I think I shocked Shira. We were talking to someone at our gym here in Nashville, and he was like, "Would you do it again?" And I immediately said yes. And Shira looked at me like, "What the? Where the hell did that come from?"
Yeah, well, here's the thing too. Like we went into it, we really didn't have a strategy. Like we were just like we're gonna do this, do the best we can. And quickly, I think we learned like we could be somewhat competitive in this and have fun, and people were competitive around us. So it like really it was a good challenge for us too. But we were like our goal was like, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? Kind of on everything. And now like we know we could have probably shaved time, and we again things that we didn't know, and we went into it with just fun expectations and not like these like hardcore training expectations, which was good for us mentally too, just because we didn't know how we would feel when we were running. It was really nice because we would be like next to people, we could pass people, we could push ourselves a little bit more there, and I felt like for as much as we haven't been running, I was impressed with our running and just our endurance through that. But I will tell you, it can get a little brutal on the running because they're running so many different heats, and like it could be doubles, it could be men's pro. Like there's so many people running at the same time, and again, so smoothly ran. But you can get pushed and shoved, and we kept getting with this one group that just kept boxing us in, and we were like, okay, we got to like put the pedal down a little bit. So we ended up pushing our speed a little bit more. But if you're a runner, this is like the kind, like if you're wanting to be a great runner or wanting to be like like Chris said, overall fitness, so much fun. A lot of laughs. Like you could there's so many things going on, so it keeps you entertained through the whole workout. When, you're not just like sitting there thinking, "Oh my gosh, this sucks." And then I think like my favorite movement actually was, I love the burpees. I know Chris is like, "Oh my gosh," but I also thought we just crushed farmers carries. Like that's something that a lot of people said they hated, and farmers carries to me was like, yes, let's go. Let's do farmers carries every time. And then wall balls, we got no repped. Chris didn't get low enough, which shocked me. If you've ever worked out with Chris, we got no repped, and so I had to take it.
I got tight hips after all that running. I had to force myself a little lower on the first round. But I got nothing nice to say about that judge. Everyone else was good except that judge.
Yeah, I think Chris might have just got picked on a little bit, to be very honest, because I was watching around and there was a lot of no reps. If you're a CrossFitter, you're like, oh no. And Chris got us a no rep. I think we got like 5 wall balls we had to make up for. But anyways, it was great. A lot of laughs, a lot of fun. And when you're done, you don't realize like we've been running outside too, and like we were like so sweaty and just disgusting, but we were inside an AC. We were like, this is like the weirdest. We weren't used to that. So that was like a little bit of a climate change for us as well, like doing the workouts outside and everything. So again, great workout, great fun, lots of laughs. We were cracking up too because we really thought my blood sugar would drop during this race, because that was like kind of the whole point. And we got up to 300 during the race. So
record.
You just never know. And Chris was great. He was checking me the whole time. Like, it was funny, if you have a smartwatch, my mom's like messaging me, "I'm watching you." My mom, "I can't talk to you right now." I can't talk to you. I'm running the race. She's like, "I know you're running the race, but your blood sugar's at 257. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, and then Chris is like, "Your blood sugar's at 260. And I'm like, I know, like everybody just keep moving right now and see if we can get through it. So that was probably like the funniest thing, is because we just were, again, we did this to see what happened, and kind of got a little bit of the unexpected, if that makes sense. We went the other direction.
Yeah. No, I mean your blood sugar hit a high, an all-time high from what we've seen since getting out of the hospital.
Yes,
So, but you were moving, and we did it, and no, it was cool. Yeah, it was. We felt kind of cold when we started it instead of warm because of the AC, and we didn't realize how sweaty we were until we actually got through the finish line and realized how drenched we were. But no, it was cool. I love the way that they do the heats. It's not just one race and then stop, and then another race and then stop. It's nonstop action all day, because you'll have the mixed doubles going, and then you'll have the solo women going, and then you'll have a mixed men going, and they send them off every 10, 20 minutes. So you never know if someone's in last. You don't really know if someone's in first. Everyone's just moving, and the way they keep track of your times with your ankle bracelet they give you, the sensor, it's awesome. I mean, they keep track of every station. When you're running laps around, you need to keep going based off what the board says. So how they have it set up, the technology that they have, the pictures they take of while you're moving, and then at the end of the race, you basically just like scan your face and it pulls up the photos of you. That was super cool. So I mean, whatever they're doing, it's awesome. It works. I think everyone, again, if you have any sort of desire to have a little bit of a fitness challenge,
worth it.
The production's good. The race is fun. It's very easy to get to and knock it out. And so, yeah, I think if they, I don't know if I would travel like super far to do another one. I would go to Atlanta.
Here we go.
Yeah, no, I would go to Atlanta. If they come to Nashville, obviously we'll do it. Shire was looking on the calendar like, let's go to Toronto. And I'm like, it's during football season.
Oh, goodness. Well, I wanted to wrap up your priorities situation here, but I wanted to bring in 2 things I thought were really great. Okay, so we'll just wrap up Hyrox in a nutshell.
Cool.
2 things, and we brought it here. 1, super inclusive atmosphere. I think that is something I have missed seeing in a lot of sports recently. Of course, it's hard to be inclusive in everything, but there was adaptive athletes. There was athletes that were, I think there was a couple that was like in their 70s or 80s doing it. Like, it was just such an inclusive atmosphere that you don't see in many sports anywhere that I've been around. So I thought that was really cool and just so positive. And you tell people like your CrossFit friends that have, not been like they're diehard CrossFitters and they're doing this as well. So it was just really cool. You saw runners, you saw like new fitness individuals like making it for their first time like us. Like it was just really cool. So the inclusive atmosphere was unlike anything I've seen in a very long time in sports, for everybody. Like it was really cool. And then my other thing is people keep asking, like, I guess the shoes are a big deal. Like, what do you wear? What are your shoes are a big deal? And Chris and I kind of like, we were like talking to some couples when we were like in the warm up area, which was really cool too. Like, just to kind of like, we were like, oh my God, we're not big warmer uppers. We need to be, we're getting older, but we're like, people were like just kind of hanging out. Some were going hard, and we're like in this very fit group of men and women. And it was very cool to like connect. We made a few friends and we were just like chatting. We were like, what shoes do you wear? And like, it was really cool to like connect. So I think that's a big part of the race too, is like, I ran in my running shoes. I actually run in a Reebok. Chris runs in a Nike Pegasus, but really cool to see like the fitness world of how many people are like die hard with their running shoes. So that's something we'll kind of bring in and chat about later, probably like our shoe and the shoe game, because that was something that I love. And it was really cool to see just like every kind of shoe under the sun. People were able like working out in it. So that was kind of cool as well.
Yep, that was cool. Had my Arkansas Razorback Nike Pegasus shoes on. They did me well. My feet felt good. So, yep. No, highly recommend the Hyrox though. And we'll let you know if we end up doing another one. But,
Yeah.
okay, let's move on to it's not a
I'm planning
new.
on doing one with my friend Shannon, by the way, just so you know, because I can't count on you.
What? What? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're moving on. We This isn't like something new. Obviously, we talk about health on the pod, but we're going to kind of
Yeah.
do a different segment, kind of change things up a little bit, and we're going to do our personal what's in, what's out, kind of on
Yeah.
our little health segment. I think I should go first because I think mine's a little bit
Fair.
basic, and I think you have a really good one that has some complexity to it. But so
Okay.
my out in the health space is chicken breast, and I'm not saying chicken breast is not healthy. It's very healthy. Just for me personally, I get tired of chicken breast very quickly. Like after one time a month or a year. I just, you can shred it, you
Very
can
true.
bake it, you can do these things to add flavor and whatever. I'm just not a big chicken breast guy. I'm just not. What's in for me
Note,
personally?
note to self as a wife: do not cook chicken breasts.
Yeah, this is a message through the pod to my wife. What's in for me are chicken thighs. I'm a chicken thigh guy, 100%. I love the flavor. I like cooking them on the Blackstone. I could bake them. I can put them on the skillet, whatever. I'm team chicken thighs over chicken breast. It's got the same amount of protein. It's just dark meat versus white meat. Season that sucker up with some smoked paprika, some salt, little onion powder, and my gosh, like I could eat it. It's one of those meals where it's like, what could you eat every day? I could probably eat some chicken thighs every day. So what's in
You
for
really
me?
could. Sometimes I'm a little grossed out by it sometimes. And you're just like gnawing these chicken thighs like you've never had chicken before.
Yeah, give me the bone-in chicken thigh too. The bone-in chicken
Wild.
thigh is the most flavor of them all. Bone-in chicken thigh for me. I know you prefer the boneless, a little bit easier to keep up with and not work with the bones, but bone-in chicken thighs or normal chicken thighs, whatever. That's what's in for me. Chicken breasts are out. So that's my what's in, what's out in the health category for me this week.
I thought you were kind of joking about this, but what I really thought about it for a second here, and I was like, oh my goodness. When I first started, we like first lived in Atlanta. Atlanta is known for great chicken wings. Like, Atlanta has wings. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
sitting at dinner one night with Chris, and he had like gnawed, like was just like shredding them, like almost like just like eating them and shredding them with his, I mean, I couldn't eat. And for me not to eat is baffling. I was just like in awe of this what was going on in front of me.
That's when you fell in
So
love. That's when you fell in love.
I don't know. I guess it was like how you ate your chicken wings. But one thing I've learned over the years is, um, I typically go with the breast. That's just what I typically like. But thighs are at our house now. We do thighs over chicken breasts. I have no problem with them. Sometimes it's just chicken in general kind of grosses me out. Like
Yeah.
there's just something about it. And so if I get a weird piece of a thigh, even though we get organic and all the goods, um, it's just it can throw me off. So that's usually what I stick to, the chicken breasts, and I still don't always love those sometimes. But you are a thigh guy, and I watch you eat those thighs like it is your favorite meal ever. So I will let that be your in for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Chicken thighs over chicken
You're welcome.
breasts. That's where I'm at. So what's your health in and what's your health out?
Yeah, I think this is a fun topic because I think it's going to be an ever evolving one for us on the pod. There's a lot of like, I feel like Instagram, like any kind of social media is like an in and out. Like they do like 2025 in and outs, health and wellness. All of them are opinions, of course, and like these are our opinions. But I think in I'm gonna just say like 2025 now, like we are seeing like an evolution and a change of health food in general with our country right now. Like food dyes are being banned. Healthier choices and healthier options are definitely like being talked about, which I'm very passionate about. You know that. But my in and my out or my out, I guess I would say, is unhealthy or convenient food everywhere you go, like where there's a large group of people. So for example, you go to a baseball game, you go to a concert, you go to whatever you go to. We go a lot of big like arena events or concerts or activities, and they're only being fast, convenient, like unhealthy food. And I'm like, we are like in such a time where there has got to be other options, and we know there are other options, and it's just like even going to a gas station traveling last week, we stopped and get gas and run into the restroom, and I'm like, there's everything's convenient and unhealthy, and just like making it a opportunity for places like ballparks or gas stations just to have something relatively healthy. And I understand it is a convenient thing, but my in is healthy food in places, as well as like if you haven't, like I would love to have just had like, what was great about Hyrox was when you're done, you could go get, if you wanted a beer, you could get a beer. Great. If you wanted a non-alcoholic beer, you could have a non-alcoholic beer. If you wanted just water, you could have it. Like there were options based on what you wanted. And I think like that's a great call out of like just food in general when you go to places. We went to a baseball game recently, and we were both like super hungry. We were excited. We were like, oh, there's got to be something for me as a diabetic, right? And the choices were terrible. It was nacho chips, a pretzel, and I think we ended up having to go with the hot dog, and I ate the hot dog, which again, fun. Everybody loves American food, but like there's got to be better options, and we know there are better options out there now. So that is my out and in: convenient food over not having healthier options. Again, I think we are way past being easy and convenient. And I could go down a rabbit hole. We even got down to like what we could, like there's so many things we can do and do better as a country. But as a whole, I just think like just having a good option every little bit makes a big difference and helps our future generations too. Like our kids seeing that there's something besides pizza and hot dogs everywhere we go.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing there is just put a little effort in to get a healthier option. It doesn't take much effort, just a little effort, and you can make a better
Yeah.
choice. And I don't know who we maybe talked about this on another podcast, but I know we follow someone on Instagram, and they were kind of talking about this. Where it was like when you travel, you can either run and grab a burger, or there's probably a local grocery store like a Whole Foods or somewhere that's kind of the same thing. Just walk in there and get something different. Like
Yeah.
something healthy, a healthier snack. Maybe they have hard boiled eggs or something. A banana. And
Yeah.
it's just switching the mind of like convenient, fast, and easy for just something different. That's also not going to take that much more time to go grab. But yeah, at these events, you would think by now they could offer some grilled tenders or something, that is, it doesn't have to be a ton of options, but just like a couple things that you could toss in, even vegetables, like put
One
them in a
option is
cup. I bet you would pay $10 for a fruit, vegetable cup. It's just something easy. So I
Well,
feel you on that. That's a good one.
it's a definite, like, we know there's so many, this is a complex layering. Like, we've talked about this multiple times and we talk about it in the pod and you and I discuss it all the time. Like, there's so many factors that play into this. Um, but I just think like we're such a we're trying so hard to, like, people are pushing so hard to be healthy now and people want to be healthy, and we're making it hard to be healthy sometimes by not being thoughtful and thinking about our future. Because I see, you know, I have a lot of opinions as being a teacher, and one of the hardest things I ever dealt with was when I had bus duty in the mornings, and my kids would come in, and the first thing they would do is they'd give me a high five, and they'd run to either like a concession stand or a vending machine, and they get their Takis and their Skittles and whatever they'd have every day. And so, like, for me, it's kind of the same concept. It's always something that's kind of bothered me, and it didn't have to be a ton of healthy options, but I guarantee you, just making a few changes would give opportunities for a lot of different things to happen. So,
Yep. No, I think that's a good in and out. And again, these are opinions, but we're seeing them.
opinions.
Yeah, but we're seeing them more and more. Health. There's so many medical
Yeah.
issues out there right now. There's so many things being brought to light where people are have been
Yeah.
in the dark for a long time, and in a good way, people are starting to
Yeah. For
realize
sure.
some things are not good for you, and maybe trying to figure out some different ways to change up the lifestyle a little bit to where you can be a little healthier. Because man, we don't have much. We've got our health, and the healthier we are, the more time we can have, which I know we're all wanting as time goes by fast. And so, minimizing that by being unhealthy is a scary thought. I know
Yep.
it's something we think about a lot, and I do personally. So, sometimes there's that slice of pizza, and sometimes I just give it up for that piece of chicken. Just to hopefully stay
I
on
think,
this earth a little longer.
yeah, I think there's this is a whole nother pod topic. Like, we could go I mean, seriously, down a rabbit hole, and I love chatting about the nutrition piece, but it's really cool to see people that are, like, excited about being healthy for future generations, right? And that's why I look back 20 plus years ago when I went to college. I wanted to be a PE teacher because I wanted to be a healthy example. And I've been really blessed because I have a lot of former students and athletes that have reached out to me from the pod or from Instagram or different ways we connect. And I talked to one of my former students. She's a nurse and she's very intelligent. And she was just talking about, like, how many people she sees daily with blood sugar issues. They don't even know they have blood sugar issues. And so I think just awareness over making healthy choices. I look at my body now as a vehicle, kind of, in a way. And I know this sounds weird, but I can either fuel it properly and it's going to run well for me, or I can fuel it yucky and it's going to run yucky for me, to be very honest. And I know that sounds silly, but I want to inspire others. I think the same thing, that's like kind of our lifestyle. And yes, it's fun to celebrate with a cake or a cookie, but at the end of the day, like, that's a short term, and there's a long term effect too. And I think there's a lot that we can think about that. I recently saw interview with the FDA, and they were talking, the lady that was interviewing, I believe the CEO of the FDA. I'm not 100% sure on the facts, and we'll clarify that. But saying, like, I was about to buy this cake for my 14-year-old daughter that had red icing on it, and I was sitting there thinking, I'm buying this cake and I'm poisoning my 14-year-old daughter, and I know we're getting a little drastic there with saying that, but we truly are. And I think there's just so many things we can do and control. It's hard. I understand. I'm not a parent. I know parents, like, my sister has a kid, and it's hard, right? Like, we have so many friends and families with kids, and we're just trying to be good examples to help, because we want a healthier future for our kids. We don't want our kids to be fighting, the autoimmune diseases or some of the things that we've been dealing with in our lifetime for them.
Yep. And no matter how good that piece of cake or donut is, it's only good for about 3 seconds. 5 minutes later, it just makes you not feel that great. So think of it that way. I've thought about that more and more. I don't even crave that stuff, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's a great in, great out. We're going to do that segment more where we have, our opinions on what's in, what's out in the health space. We'll have some funny ones, some serious ones, but
Yeah.
thought we'd throw that in. Let's move on to some sports because we've had a
Well, it's
lot
busy
going
with
on.
sports.
Yeah, we had the Kentucky Derby this weekend, which is one of my favorite events of the whole year. I made my mint juleps. They were great. I bought mint plants because that's all they had. So I had the fresh mint off the vine, and it was very good. It was a muddy race, and I like
Yeah.
obviously we
We just
want
had a
to.
lot of rain in this area.
It was a lot of rain this weekend, and I was sitting there thinking, I can't
Yep.
wait to attend the Kentucky Derby one day. But I pray to God that it's sunny, 68, not a cloud in the sky when we go, because as much fun as that looked, it also looked kind of miserable with all the rain and just mud, and you're getting
We're
all
not
these
good
nice
rain people.
clothes.
We're just not good outdoor rain people. And
Yeah.
Chris, for the last probably 48 hours, all he said is, I can't wait to get to the Kentucky Derby. I can't wait to have, do this." And then I'm sitting there thinking, if it rains, how miserable would that be? I'm sure it'd be, like we talked about, an amazing event no matter what. But we have had a lot of sloshy, windy, nasty, rainy days lately, and I think we're just not good rain people, to be
No.
honest.
And I couldn't imagine getting them on like my Tecovas boots or my suit. It would just be like, I don't know. We'd
We'll be
make the
done.
most
We'll be
of
done.
it, but I'm just praying that it's sunny when we go eventually, and it'll be great. But it was great to watch on TV. So good weekend
Super
there.
fun to
But our next segment, I think we're gonna do our personal game changers of the week. So we can pick an
hear. Okay.
underdog, we can pick a player, we can pick a team. Um, I'm gonna let you go first because you kind of mentioned someone that you thought might be your game changer of the week, and I thought I was pretty impressed with your answer. So who is your game changer of the week in the sports world?
Yeah, well, as many of you have probably been watching and enjoying this week, NBA finals are going on, or NBA playoffs, excuse me. And I actually really enjoy NBA. Chris doesn't love it as much as I do probably, but I definitely love the playoffs. And I think I'm one of those, yeah, he's iffy. I love the playoffs. I could watch game after game after game. I think it just brings such energy. Anyways, my game changer or my like underdog of the week is Russell Westbrook. Again, has been a phenomenal player his entire career. He is a well-known athlete. But I think he this week made a massive change for his organization with Denver. Kind of like a six man coming off the bench a lot of times for them. He has brought such old Russell Westbrook energy to that team that was kind of just having like very like floppy. They've had a turbulent second part of their season, to be very honest. They've lost their coach, have changed. They've had some weird wins, weird losses. Joker's played really well, and then like Joker's only had like 9 points at one point yesterday in the game before halftime. I don't even know if he had 9. I think maybe at 7. Just like odd for the Joker. And he had that like Russell Westbrook energy that you saw when he was with Oklahoma, and he got the crowd pumped. He got his team pumped. I think one of my favorite parts of the game was he missed a free throw, which is rare for him anyways. James Harden and Kawhi Leonard did not block him out. He rebounded it and got his own rebound and put the ball in. So for me, like that is second opportunity. I think Charles Barkley was talking about that too. Like the second opportunities that team took advantage of, he was a leader of that. So I'm a Russell Westbrook fan.
Yep. That answer amps me up because I have a Russell Westbrook jersey from when he was in Oklahoma City. Everybody knows OKC's my team, and to see
Yeah.
him play a little vintage style Westbrook with the intensity and the confidence, and he's hitting threes like he's never hit before. He's usually like brick city from three.
He has been,
But he's been one of their
yeah.
most consistent 3-point shooters in this series. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and he's what I don't think they were missing much, but he's brought just an extra jolt of energy to that franchise and at a time when they need it. And yeah, game 7, he showed up, showed out. He's been an awesome sixth man for them.
He was the kryptonite in that game for sure. To me, he was the kryptonite. I'm not saying I thought they also played great defense at times too.
Did you get that off my shirt, by the way? Is that how you called him the
Oh
kryptonite?
my gosh, you're a nut. I love it. But no, he was a kryptonite because I think you watch the defense compared to what LA should not have won that game, basically because of their defense. They had none. at times. So I get really frustrated with teams that are so talented that do not play defense.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's a kryptonite. I also think he brought a little bit of a leadership. I think Joker's a great leader. Don't get me wrong, but just a different kind of leadership and intensity to that organization, like you said. I didn't know if it was gonna be good or bad, to be very honest, but I'm starting to see him like he looks like he's having fun playing, which I honestly like. After he'd been traded several times, I kind of felt like he had maybe lost a little bit of his love and his passion, like he used to have. Have to take a back seat, of course, in different games and with different players, but talk about some interesting connections here. Now the Nuggets are gonna play Oklahoma City.
Yep. And that'll be
So,
that'll be unique because I mean Russ
yep,
won
for sure.
MVP while with OKC, averaged triple doubles for a couple seasons in a
Yep,
row, led the franchise. So it was when Durant left, Westbrook became the quick face of it all, and OKC loves Russell Westbrook, so it'll be a fun, interesting series. But you're right, Joker leads by example, and Russ leads by example, and then adds the verbal aspect to it as well, and the
for sure.
energy, the outward energy.
The
That
snarl.
yeah, yeah, that face he makes like a bulldog when he charges, it gets the crowd pumped up, and that's the kind of guy I like watching in the NBA
For
because
sure.
it brings me into it and gets me hyped. So that's a good one. Um, Big fan of the Russell Westbrook answer there. So, well, my
What
game
about you?
changer of the week. Yep, my game changer of the week is the Arkansas Razorback baseball team. So they had lost 3 weekend series in a row. They got to number one, and
Yeah,
then typical Arkansas fashion, they just we don't like being good. I guess we don't like being at the top. It's not a place for us. We don't know how to get to the top and stay there.
fair.
That's just something we've struggled with for so
Fair.
long in a lot of sports. Um,
Yeah.
but dropped 3 weekend series in a row, and we dropped out of the top 10. And we hosted Texas, which is the number one team in the country at the moment, and we swept them, baby. We swept them. Absolutely crushed them. Seeing some of the videos of Dave Van Horn talking to the players, and basically it was Arkansas Texas. It's a different kind of game every time they play, and no matter the sport. So I
For
know
sure.
there was some different energy involved. The crowd looked awesome in Fayetteville, and I know once they got game two, it was no question they wanted the sweep in game three on Saturday, and so. Uh, that's my game-changing team of the week. Arkansas needed that. It was only a matter of time before they got things rolling again. Baseball's such a season of ups and flows. And Arkansas was down for a bit. That was what we needed to get things rolling as regionals, and then in all that approaches. I know Arkansas expects to be in the College World Series conversation and contention. So hopefully that gets us going again, and hopefully we start climbing the rankings again as we get closer to the end of the month. Now that we're in May, and so yep. So I think we both had good game changers.
Love it.
So let's keep the sports conversation going. We're not going to talk too much longer, but we had another idea of doing something that we'd seen discussed on a couple different things, but we're going to do keeping the NBA playoff conversation going. We're going to do a couple start bench cuts with a few different
Okay.
players. And so
Fair.
the first one we're going to do, these are high level NBA All Star, All Pro players. So this one's going to be a little bit tough. I'm interested in your answer because we didn't talk about this before. But we're
Good to
going to
know.
go Jason Tatum.
Okay.
We're going to go Luka Doncic. And we're going to go Anthony Edwards. So of those three players, who are you starting? Who are you benching? And who are you cutting off the roster?
Whew. It's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
I think my start's easy because I love this player because personality. I love their personality. I love their game. They have been playing out of their mind. Anthony Edwards, like, come on, that guy is he's a dog, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna definitely put a start for him. He may not be the best of the three all around, but I think he's a dog right now, and I think he's up and coming, and he's gonna continue to get better and better. I'm going to bench. I'm gonna bench Luca.
Bench and Luca.
Love,
Oh,
I love Luca. Don't get me wrong. I love Luca. Um, there's a reason though that Lakers lost X factors. He's not the X factor, so I'm gonna bench him. And I'm gonna cut Jason Tatum. I just don't like the Celtics, to be very honest, and I don't want to do. I think Jason Tatum's a fabulous player, but adios, bye Celtics. So there's mine.
so you're gonna start Anthony Edwards. You're gonna
Yep.
bench Luca. So he's on the team. He's just
Yep.
not playing. And you're gonna totally cut
Yep.
Jason Tatum.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
This
interested
one,
to hear your answer.
this one's tough for me because I'm a big Luca fan. I have a Luca jersey.
I
But
know you do.
Luca plays for a franchise that I absolutely despise. I hate the Lakers with a passion. So Luca, I'm cutting him. He's off the roster. I'm not a big
Okay.
fan. I'm not a big fan of the Celtics either. But Jason Tatum, I like Jason Tatum a lot. Won the championship. The Celtics have been pretty
Oh, I agree.
unstoppable the last few seasons with him as the clear cut leader. So Tatum, I'm gonna put him on the bench, and I'm gonna go
Yeah.
same
Okay.
answer as you. Anthony Edwards is gonna be my
Yep.
starter. He's won me over. He he might be the best of the three. You know, he's starting to
He's a
play.
dog.
Yeah, I mean his he plays like Russell Westbrook. He's probably
He does.
a better shooter than Westbrook was at that point in his career. He's the clear cut leader. You know, he gets teed up a lot because of his passion and energy too. His confidence is through the roof. Um, so if I got a
Yep.
one on one matchup, I guess I'm taking Anthony Edwards too. So I'm gonna start Anthony Edwards. I'm gonna
Yep.
bench Jason Tatum, and I'm gonna cut Luca. Unfortunately, so
Fair.
yeah.
I'll take. I think that's a good answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's do one more. Let's do one more because
All right. One
just
more.
one. We got other players that are. I think this is a nice little discussion here. We're gonna go with
Thank you.
the Joker. We're gonna
Okay.
go with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So that's kind of your two probably MVP candidates right there. And then we're gonna throw in a wild card, Donovan Mitchell, because he did lead Cleveland to the number one seed in the East. So who are
Okay.
you starting? Who are you benching? And who are you cutting?
Well, I'm starting Shea. I think he is the best shooter in the NBA right now. Best all-around player.
Pretty unstoppable.
Unstoppable. It's proven. I also think again, kind of like I'm loving the younger generation of the NBA coming in right now. I think there's some dogs out there, and
Gonna be fun.
he's tough. He's fun. He leads very well, even though he's young, and I think that's something I think there's a lot of character to him. I am. I'm getting rid of the Joker. I'm cutting the Joker.
Wow.
It's hard
Okay.
for me to cut the Joker. I wasn't going to cut the Joker when I first thought of this, but he is not playing his best ball right now, so I would cut the Joker. It's hard to say. And I'm going to bench Donovan Mitchell. And I'm indifferent on that. Like, that's just like one of those, I'm just like, I like Donovan Mitchell. I don't think he's as good as Shea. I think the Joker's better than him, but right now the Joker's not playing well, and I'm in a moment, I'm cutting the Joker, and I'm going to put Donovan Mitchell on the bench.
Interesting answer. Donovan Mitchell was definitely the wild card because I don't think he gets the respect that a lot of these other
I
players
agree.
do, and it's probably because he plays in Cleveland. Um, but
I'm not a
mean,
Cleveland fan either, though, and I
no,
haven't been.
yeah. I mean, but he's again number one seed in the East over Boston, and it's
Yep,
because of Donovan Mitchell. So,
I do
um,
agree with that.
my answer is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to cut Donovan Mitchell. I like
Okay,
Donovan Mitchell, but I don't see him leading his team to the championship. I just don't
fair.
see it. Great player though. That's why this is tough. Um, I think you would think that I would pick Shea to be my starter, but I'm not going to. I'm putting Shea on the bench. while
Okay.
he is the clear cut MVP in my opinion, and I think the Thunder will be in the finals. They have not made the finals yet. Um,
Fair.
they've got to prove that. I think they're kind of like what Boston was last year. They've been good, and I think OKC could cruise to a championship with him leading the way, but need to see it first. The Joker's been there, done that. He's won a championship. The guy is a triple double machine. So I'm going to start the Joker. He's earned the start in my opinion. So I'm going to start the Joker. Shea, you're on the bench, but be ready to be called up at any second for the switch out. And Donovan
Yep.
Mitchell, I hate to bench him because I just want to give him more respect, but in this case, someone's got to go. So it's going to be the Spider. I got to get rid of him.
Okay, I can respect your choices, and I can respect your answers. I see why the Joker, and that's what makes it hard for me. Is right now the Joker is just he's not playing his best ball. He's playing good ball. Don't get me wrong. He's
Lord,
better than
it's
everybody, but
it's
just about everybody.
Denver versus OKC in this next
Yep.
series. So we're gonna see what
Interesting
happens.
matchups for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I definitely looking forward. Now that we're getting into this deep part of the playoffs, now I'm invested. I'm ready to
Fair.
roll now.
That's
Um,
my word of the day. Fair. I've said like 25
yeah,
times.
you said
I
fair a
respect
lot.
you.
You said fair a lot.
I respect you.
We're gonna
Spoke
tally it
that out.
up and see how many times you've said that.
Well, I could cuss at you, but I decided not to. I'm agreeing
Okay.
and being kind.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's do one more before we jump off the pod. We'll do
Okay.
kind of a basic one that probably anyone could come up with. Let's do a quick food one. And again,
Okay.
we talked healthy, but we're gonna go unhealthy on these choices because they're just good and people eat them, and it's kind of a general answer people give. But we're gonna do start bench cut on tacos, pizza, and burgers. So
Fair.
you
Okay.
got what's going to be your go-to? What are you putting on the
Anything.
bench? And what are you getting rid of?
Okay. Easy one for me. Starting tacos. Always tacos. I will always pick tacos. Love them. All kinds, variety, you name it. I will bench burgers because I love a good burger, a good beef. And I will cut pizza. Probably an unpopular opinion, but pizza has always hurt me. So I don't. I love it. I love the way it tastes, like we talked about earlier, but it hurts me. So I'm cutting pizza.
Yeah, if this was 10, 15 years ago, my answer would have been different because I wasn't a big Mexican food fan, but man, times have changed to where I crave Mexican food now. I could eat it every night. Um, So I'm gonna go
We do pretty
tacos. I'm gonna start tacos as well. That's been a
much.
total change for me over the years. Man, give me some tacos and queso and a good margarita and some. I mean, man, I just can't get enough Mexican food right now. So I'm starting tacos. I'm gonna bench burgers as well. There is nothing that beats a good burger. That's just with the cheese and the right just consistency and man, there's hard to beat a good burger when you're craving something. You need some fuel. A burger can do it. I like pizza. I have my moments where I crave it too, but you're right. It just doesn't sit well with me most of the time. Um, and there's a time and place to grab some New York slices of pizza. I'm a big New York thin slice guy, and pepperoni cheese. I'm basic with it, but yeah, in this scenario, I'm gonna start tacos. I'm gonna bench the burger, and I'm gonna get rid of pizza. I'm gonna have to cut it.
Okay. I like
So
it. I like it. I
yeah,
think it's.
we're
I think that was one I was kind of interested to see which way you would go, but I had a
yeah
feeling about the topic was going to be a surprise.
yeah. So we were pretty much on the same page there. But no, I mean let's wrap this up. We've got some new segments. We're gonna kind of keep that trend going. I'm looking at some of our notes here. I know we've got some other things we're gonna start implementing into the pod.
Cool.
Some cool things to keep it interesting. And I know we've got some guests we're starting to toss around as we'd like to include some others. Now that we've gotten this thing rolling and organized, we want to bring in some different people, talk about some different things, and get them involved with the Been Busy podcast. 'Cause there's a lot of people out there that are busy doing awesome things, and we want to give them a platform with us to discuss some of that. Um, But no, babe, is there anything you would like to end the pod with? Any thoughts? Anything?
No, have a great week. Thanks for listening to us, and we really appreciate just the encouragement of living a healthy lifestyle. Hopefully, we encourage you, and you encourage us as well. So thanks.
Yep. So in the way you like to end things, peace.
Peace.